Alright, so the other week was the Browsers Den of Magic 47th anniversary, which, as I mentioned before, I was actually performing at along with a bunch of other magicians. And I had a great time. Got to see some old friends who I hadn't seen in a bit, hang out and chat, do a bit of jamming. I got to meet some people I'd only seen online before, so that was great to see and get to know them a little bit more in person. And I got to take out two of my personal favorite routines for a spin. And as I said before, these are actually routines that I've had in my repertoire for quite some time. But over the past few years, I've been making a few refinements to them, and this was kind of the first time to really take a real full public performance, if you will, with a couple of new changes that I'd made to them. One of them was my sponge ball routine, which I've spoken to you before about. Sorry, there's a tick there. Like I said, I'm going to try not to actually cut out my ticks this time. Or rather moving forward. But one of them was my sponge ball routine, which I've talked about before, with the clown nose premise. And that is not new, the premise for that, but there was a bit that I was trying to add in actually, which involved making a clown nose appear on my face. I thought this was a great idea, and I'm still working into the routine, but one of the things, and this is actually, I wanted to give a shout out to Jeff Pinsky of Browsers Den of Magic and the Browsers Den in general for doing this. They still have a mask policy, and so at the anniversary party, everyone was wearing masks. And the idea that I'd had was to have a nose appear on my nose, a clown nose, as part of the routine. And it wasn't till I was literally mid-routine that I realized, oh crap, I'm still wearing my mask. I was wearing a mask, and therefore I didn't really have access to my nose to make the clown nose appear. So mid-routine, I had to kind of course correct and just kind of cut that bit from it, which was slightly disappointing because, like I said, this was one of the my first times trying out this couple of these new ideas. So then to not be able to do it, was a little bit of a disappointment. But it did actually highlight a couple of lessons. One of which was, if you are ever performing and you know the venue and the working conditions, and you're doing a rehearsal, make sure you rehearse with under those conditions. So if, for example, you're doing a venue and you know that the venue still has a rule about masks or would like you to wear a mask, do a run through of your set wearing a mask, because it will make a difference of things you won't even think of. There was another bit where I apparently eat one of the clown noses, and that I just opened my mask and threw it in. But I realized in the moment that could look like I literally just threw the clown nose under the mask, so it wasn't really a magical moment. But that was the kind of thing that I would have noticed had I done a run through wearing the mask. My dad's fond of saying, practice doesn't make perfect, perfect practice makes perfect. If you practice doing something wrong, you're only going to perfect doing it wrong. And so if you practice doing something in a way that isn't how you're actually going to be performing it, you're just perfecting doing it in a way that doesn't apply. Thankfully, it wasn't like the routine was ruined. It was just, a minor disappointment for myself because I was hoping to try out that new bit. Of course, I didn't realize till afterwards, after I'd finished my set, that all the other performers had taken their masks off for performance. But again, live and learn, right? But what I really wanted to talk about was actually the other routine that I was working on. That was my color changing deck routine. And I've posted this before. I have a video of me performing 4 Caleb Wiles, this routine. And but what I'd added to it was this new presentation that I was really excited about. And it's still something I'm very fond of, and I've actually been using it on and off for the past 2 or so years. But there were a few new ideas that I had added that I was really excited to try out, and they went great. But in the process of focusing on this new presentation, I had a few other ideas. I was like, oh, I could do this, and I started just throwing in a few new ideas that were more sleight of hand oriented. And as you've seen, and as I mentioned in the previous video, and you see here, I love sleight of hand. I love knuckle busting, finger flicking, ridiculous, over the top, unnecessary, intricate Legend of Man. I don't know, I just do. But that doesn't mean it's always what's best for a trick or a performance. And this performance actually reiterated that to myself. There was a moment where I'm running through the deck and I am just getting a card that the spectator named, 8 of spades, for example, in this case. And all I'm doing is taking it out of the deck and holding it and showing it. And in that process, I did a cull and a raise rise and holding a double lift out in the open for what I used to originally accomplish with just a buckle. Vernon, for example, was known for taking tricks and methods and simplifying them and making them more powerful in the process. It's easy to take a trick and make it simpler and make it weaker. But to simplify it and make it stronger in the same process really speaks, I think, to what Vernon brought to it. And I realized that that's what I was doing the opposite here. I was running while I wasn't being chased. And it reminded me, again, I need to work smarter, not harder. I was adding a convincer at a point when there was no reason for them to suspect anything. I realized that, yeah, what I was originally doing was far simpler and far stronger, because even though there's no magic in those moments, it made everything else much cleaner, which then made the magic when it did happen that much stronger. That's it for me this week. I hope you liked it. If you like it, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss anything, all right? That was it for the Bowser's anniversary party. That's it for me. And remember, work smarter, not stronger, all right? Peace out. Cheers. Harder. Work smarter, not harder. That's what I meant. All right, that's it for me. Work smarter, not harder. Peace out. Cheers.